I have understood that there are, let's say, two ways of approaching this extremely complex and complicated spiritual structure that exists in the worlds beyond. We do have, first of all, the families that consist of different spirits. So different souls that develop a very close relationship, and these souls tend to reincarnate together on Earth in order to learn, to evolve, to help each other with the different lessons they have to share. So it's like, to some extent, like a group of actors who always uses to go together to a new casting. A new casting is a new life, a new reincarnation. So we tend to go together to a new casting and to be, let's say, distributed in different roles from one life to another in order to acquire, each of us, different life experiences and to learn, each of us, our own life lessons. This is why, generally speaking, the spirits who will be in the main roles in your life are not new for yourself. So the most important people in one's life, the parents, the child, the husband, are most frequently people, spirits, whom you have met at least one more time, if not many times, in your other previous lives. It's important to know that, as I have already mentioned in our podcast, the roles change. So if your husband was someone whom you love deeply in your previous life, it does not mean that he must be also your husband in this current life. He might be your child or your best friend. So the roles tend to change, but the spirits are quite the same. Michael Newton states in his books that sometimes we might have also a kind of, let's say, extended family, which gathers together spirits who make part of different families, but who gather together for a number of lives in order to approach a certain topic and to specifically work a lot on that particular topic. For example, we might have a group of souls who work on spiritual experiences and on the relationship with the divinity. And maybe they are part of different families, but they decided to work together for many reincarnations in order to approach this particular topic. But then we also have the second discussion, let's say, which is described in a very detailed way by Sal Rachele's books, in which we speak about the family of the same soul. So here we do not speak about different spirits who gather together, but we speak about one spiritual being who divides itself in different souls who live in different dimensions and maybe even on different planets. So I will try to explain a bit more in order to be clear about this topic. The divine universe is built up, let's say, like a block of flats with a lot of floors. And let's say that our physical, material world in which we live right now on our planet is somewhere about the third floor, or between the third and the fourth floor. And then if we go upper and we try to explore the other upper floors, we discover new worlds, each of them of a higher dimension, of a higher vibrational level, let's say. These are the invisible or the subtle worlds that we do not perceive, unfortunately, with open eyes here on Earth. This is why we do need this altered state of consciousness, either trance or out-of-body experiences, or speaking by channeling with a being of a higher vibration, in order to see what's beyond. So, coming back to the metaphor I was using, the block of flats with so many floors, with so many dimensions, make up the universe created by the divine. When you go there, you may notice that our higher self, let's say, our spiritual being, is someone, let's say, at the 7th dimension, but who divided himself or herself in many souls and descended and expanded itself on the other lower vibration. So, for example, a spiritual being of the 7th dimension might have 6 extensions in the 6th dimension, another 6 extensions or 12 in the 5th dimension, and so on. So it's like an enormous spiritual tree which makes up our own spiritual family. But now when I'm speaking about the word family, I don't mean many spirits, different spirits, but only one spirit who divided himself or herself in so many souls who live in parallel in different dimensions, in different worlds, and even on different planets, in order to gather as much experience as possible in the shortest period of time. So the reason why our spirits decided to divide and to expand in so many worlds is to live as many experiences as possible, to explore the divine creation as much as possible, to gather knowledge, to gather soul experiences, to develop their own gifts and to find their inner paths, let's say. So all these souls then return to their spiritual root, let's say, and pour into your higher self, like in a funnel, all the experiences they have lived in any dimension, in any time, in any space, in any on any planet. So all in all, we might speak about, once again, a group of different spiritual beings that make up a spiritual family that works together, that incarnates together on Earth and on other planets and so on. Or we might speak about the family of the same unique spirit, who consists of all its branches, of all the souls and the divisions and the extensions that only one spirit has in different worlds on different dimensions. What it is important to know is that this beautiful communication and this beautiful way of working together is completely different scene if we have the perspective on Earth or the perspective of the perspective from the worlds above. And I will try to tell you now a very short story, a very short parable. It is said that once there was a group of spirits up in heavens, and one of them told to the others, "Listen, I feel that it's time for me to go back on Earth and to live a more difficult life. My soul wants to know how it is to suffer, and I will be ill, and I will be raped, and I will be killed, and I will suffer a lot." And all of a sudden, the others were stunned, and there was a deep moment of silence. And one of them said, listen, if you really need this, and if you think that these experiences will help you, then we will accept to come with you, because we are the closest spirits, souls that you have. So we will accept to do this particularly for you. This is a very touching story, and in my opinion, using my own experience in past lives, I would say that this story is true, and that we do help each other in different roles to learn our lessons, and that we will be quite stunned to find out sometimes that some of the spirits that we consider perpetrators are spirits that will really love in the upper dimensions, and that love us, and that we did this one for the other in order to help and to support our evolution and our growth. So coming back to the question, speaking about love and about the idea of a soulmate, generally speaking, so when you love very much someone, he or she is someone you have already met in another past life or in other dimensions. So there are people whom you know and who are part of your spiritual family, or sometimes, not very often, it might happen to meet exactly another soul, another extension of yourself. This doesn't happen very frequently, but it might, however, happen. There are people who are quite constant from one lifetime to another, and they keep on creating love stories with the same beings, or people who change their loved ones. I don't think it's such a strict law on this. But what is important to know is that a deep, profound and intense love is something which is lived with a spirit who is not at all new to yourself. But then I don't think it's very important to analyze so much if that spirit is another soul, another extension of yourself from your higher spirit, or if he or she is someone you have already met in 1 or 10 past lives. It doesn't matter so much. In the end, what's important is to really be present in that experience and to live as much as possible with all your being.